Hey you guys, let's talk about Chaturanga. This is a fancy term for push-up. It's a specific form of push-up that yoga has defined with the elbows typically coming along the side of the body. While this is a fine way to do a push-up, what I find a lot of times is that because this way of doing the pose calls a lot on the triceps. So when someone doesn't have the strength to hold this shape, very often the shoulder will come forward and put some undue stress on the joint. We'd like to ideally find an integrated, kind of engaged, a global engagement with all of our shapes. And that just helps things be stronger so that we can gain that connection in our everyday life and movement. So when we're doing yard work or playing with our kids or finding things that we need to get at the back of the cabinet, we have this way of moving that we're prepared in all these different ways. So let's talk about a few cues that I really like to find that engagement. So we're going to start with the upper body, and I really like to think of push-up or chaturanga, however you want to think of it, as a full body movement. Front of the body, back of the body, glutes, hamstrings, quads, core. So first let's start with the hands, finding that nice connection with your mat. Mounds of the fingers heavy, and you feel this little suction cup center of the palm. That helps give a little bit of lightness to the root of the wrist and engages through the forearms and all the way up. Now, one cue that really works well for me is to pull. So I pull my hands towards my center, core is engaged, that front of the body begins to get engaged, and then I'm pushing at the same time. So my back body starts to get fired up. Now from here, you guys, go ahead and keep that nice strength, and then we're gonna add the lower body. So I like a way to find that engagement and see what it feels like is to use a block between the legs. So pressing and using that same strength in the front body, the top body, and take those arms wherever it feels best. So maybe a little wider feels good to you. Let those elbows do what they wanna do. So we're gonna engage, connect. I like to hug my feet towards my hands, hands towards my feet. Some of you might like to do the opposite and see how that feels. So we're gonna lower, chest and hips come down at the same time. The neck stays long, and then lowering nice and slow, that eccentric movement. Yes, and then we're gonna push up. And a lot of times it's just nice to do on the knees because it's takes a little bit pressure off. The concentric movement is a little bit more challenging. Now, if that full plank, that moving plank, is a little bit on the tougher side, we're gonna lower our knees before we collapse. So before the shoulder may roll forward or the middle may start to sag. So before that happens, you find a nice plank, you begin to lower, say, here's my point. I'm gonna lower my knees and then come the rest of the way down. So that's a nice way to build that strength and find that connection at the same time. So I look forward to seeing you.